Good evening, everyone. It's Sunday night, of course. It's the APAT show. Lee, we are following, are we not, day 1A of APAT London tonight, in addition to leaderboard ladders tournaments. Shall we cut straight to the action because we're getting pretty close to it, I believe?
Well, we've come in just a couple of minutes earlier than we normally would at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, and players are just on. We've got about 2 minutes left of their break, but we've got 5 players left in the online day one for APAT London. So of course, this time next week we're going to be at Aspers Stratford, just alongside the Olympic Park. Hopefully, I'm hoping by now we might well have crowned our APAT London winner for the weekend. Will be quite nice because then it means we can all be in the bar. So that'd be quite a good way if we've got to that point with it. But yeah, so this is first one for us is an online day one. So we've had 24 runs of that. Players have been satelliting in all week. I think pretty much half the field satellited in at one point. So there might be somebody here that got in for like £5.50 into this £120 buy-in comp. We've got 5 players remaining. Now, play will stop when we get to 4. So it's 15% of the field because basically, once we get to 4, they'll carry their stacks forward to Sunday the 3rd of April, next Sunday, and we'll be in the money. So they will already have made a min cash. Yeah. So that's what they're playing for, from the comfort of their homes on a Sunday night to be in London next Sunday, playing for the big money. Now, you'll see on the table there, Des, we have one Joby Plunkett with 1.1 million in chips.
APAT bracelet winner, Joby.
Yeah, significantly more than the rest of the 4 other players. Joby late regged for this, doubled up fairly quickly, and pretty much hasn't looked back from that point. Coming up to this final table, we lost Dan Austin was playing. He finished in 8th. We lost Steve Bailiff in 7th. We lost Alan Ellis in 6th. So the other players we've got here, so Owen Fee has got 275,000. Kim Callow, who players will recognise has played regularly some APAT games online with us in the last couple of years, has got 289,000. David Clark, another regular playing APAT games online, 325,000. Edward Rawlingson, a new name to me, but has got 405,000. Then I say Joby with just over 1.1 million. So players are just about to resume play. So we'll be back underway any second now. We've got obviously the culmination of leaderboard ladders as well to keep an eye on. So we will follow on with that as soon as we can. There is one Natalie Bromley who is chip leader in the main event tonight with 7 players remaining. So we're keeping an eye on that as well. But obviously this is going to play down. This is effectively, Des, the money bubble. This is what we're watching now, five-handed.
Well, it certainly is. It's the money bubble for London. So a new way of doing business, it has to be said. But as you said, Lee, sat in the comfort of your own home, you can make it all the way through to day 2 of an APAT Live event, utilising this type of hybrid structure. You could, let's see how Joby finishes here. But if we're to assume that Joby, will play super sensibly over the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, I mean, he could be sat in Aspers Casino next Sunday with over 1 million in chips, having cashed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Now let's I mentioned to you, Des, before we went live. I've been watching this since 7 o'clock because I'm sad like that on a Sunday night.
Sad.
To be honest. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very much. They don't put songs of praise on a Sunday night anymore. So they've got not much else to do. To be honest,
I feel your pain.
So this absolutely flew by. We were half the field gone, and they were 60 big blinds deep, average stack. Absolutely flew by. Couldn't understand why. Then it got to sort of down to 7. Once they got rid of Austin in 8th. That's when it all kind of slowed down dramatically, and yet from that point on, it's really been, obviously they're getting close into the money there now, wanted to make sure they can make next Sunday. As we're playing now, blinds are 10,000, 20,000. We're in level 17 for those of you that are playing live next week to get an idea. This should play pretty similarly live and online. That's the idea. Average stack is 480,000, so they're sitting about 25 bigs now. It's that kind of crunch time, but of course, look at Joby's stack. Over 1 million in chips at 10,000, 20,000. So he's got over 50 bigs at this point going into the money. I mean, that's a super stack to be going into a day 2 of a live event with.
It's sort of it's interesting to have this sort of view of a player in that type of position. Because of course he's thinking beyond the online event. This isn't about closing it out online. You can't win this thing online. He's thinking about what he can sit down at Asper's with, and that's an interesting dynamic, Leigh.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tricky one because if you're not used to playing these online day ones, they do tend to play a little bit differently, and I don't know whether it's when you're not in a live environment, you kind of, maybe it's a little bit easier just to be clicking buttons and not thinking about it, but you do need to be at this point working out, right, how much do I try and punish these 4 players that I've got here to build my stack. He was doing it just before we came live on the show, just before the last break. But he doesn't want to double any of these guys up or give away any of his stack here really now, because that's a decent stack to take into a day 2. So it's trying to pick his spots where he thinks he can go for it. Obviously, these guys, as we've got a hand here, and it's
here we go. This could be
Clark,
it.
and Joby's hit was actually ahead with the king queen against the queen 8. They both hit a queen on the flop, and that is going to be that.
Wow.
So Joby is going to get through with just shy of 1.3 million in chips. Wow. He's going to be joined by Edward Rawlingson with 555,000, Owen Fee with 298,000, and Kim Callow with 250,000. They will be our 4 players that will make it through to the day 2. Congratulations to all 4.
Well
You're
done.
already in the money. Absolutely superb performances from all of you. We'll see you all in London, say in a week's time. Wow. Well, that was short and sweet as we were talking about the dynamic of it, but. I mean, that was a situation where I think for David Clark that finished 5th there, he's got queen 8. He's hit a queen on the flop. I mean, Joby's woken up with king queen, hits a king there as well, just for good measure, and that kind of saw the end of that. But the poker doesn't stop there though, Des, because
there's more.
We have got a very lively final table up and running in what we would normally be doing on a Sunday night. Which is showing you the culmination of leaderboard ladders. We'll talk a little bit more about the online day 1 in a little while. Let's get a bit of focus on this though, as we bring up this table. So let me do what I normally do on a Sunday night, which is tell you the usual thing. We've got 4 events as always. For completing the week with leaderboard ladders, we already have the deep stack that was done. Christos Safranos from Greece won that, beat Sergio Esteban heads up. So very well done to them in the deep stack. That had 64 runners. Top 11 were played in that. Brendan Byrne picked up points in that. Richard Carter did as well. Brian Frew did. So very well done to them. The main event, which is what we're watching now, is down to the final 7. They're all comfortably in the money because we're paying top 13 in this. We ended up with just a little bit shy of the 2,500 guarantee. Not very much though. So that's it. One, Natalie Bromley, currently chip leader in this with 1.3 million in chips, closely followed by, wouldn't be a Sunday night without Richard King with a stack of chips, Des.
The chocolate king.
That is pretty much it. Richard's got just over 1.1 million. Peter Shaw's there as well. We lost Brendan was on this final table, but finished in 9th, but he picked up a few more points as well. We're going to follow this one. The PLO is, again, just shy. It was $10 shy of the guarantee in that one. 33 runners. It's paying top 6. We're on the money bubble on that one now with James Fawley from the UK, currently chip leader. Jonathan Rees. John Rees is second in chips. John actually played the online day 1 as well. So having a few games on APAT on a Sunday night, which is nice to see. And then finally, the Turbo Knockout, $560 in that prize pool, 56 runners in that. With Reg's closed on that now, so we're paying top 9 on that with 21 remaining, so we'll keep an eye on that. But obviously we'll focus in on this final table. There's $676 up top, 436 for second, 300 for third, and the guys here now are all guaranteed just over $100 for their troubles so far.
Super lovely, Leigh. Quite an update there. There's a bunch of you guys out there. Say hello in the chat box, and we will talk about anything that you guys want to talk about this evening. People who have done that already are Mr. Lawler. So Simon is out there and says, evening back to you, Simon. One, Brendan Byrne, who you mentioned there a couple of minutes ago, Leigh, is also out there and says, evening, gents. Evening to you, Brendan. And Tris, of course, is out there. Evening all. Obviously have Molly's game on in the background. Leigh, have you watched Molly's game?
Yes, thoroughly
good movie.
That. Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, good watch. Very, very, very well done. And obviously, based a lot on a lot of what came out from the book. And I think our good friend Robbie actually interviewed her, didn't he, at one point, which is a great watch if you can find that. But yeah, it's one of those poker films which is just it's a comfortable watch, isn't it? It's quite entertaining. So, and obviously, and the fact is, it's most of it. I think they slightly might have added a little bit of artistic license here and there, but majority of what you're watching there actually happened.
Absolutely. And of course, within the movie, there were no names, there were no celeb names, but it's not too hard to find out who the reputed celebs were in those games.
And of course, all that kind of thing is now going to get repeated up in Nottingham. Because Rob's setting up for celebrity home games up at Dusk Till Dawn, isn't he? So all those stories are going to come out again.
I'm not sure it'll be the same with 300 people in the room with them, Lee. It can't be the same, can it?
Oh well, Joseph's all in here, and Natalie's made the call. It's Ace Queen versus fives.
It's a race.
Fives at risk. Oh well, he's hit a 5.
Oh, there's a king and a 10 there.
So it needs to be a jack.
Oh,
and it doesn't hit. So it'll be a double up for Joseph. Natalie could, say with Ace Queen, it's a fairly standard call, isn't it?
Yeah. You're liking that. No issues there.
That's just where you want to win your flips at this point in the comp. But that's not a problem at all. So what I would like to say, whilst we're now watching this final table and we've settled down a little bit, and we just briefly touched on the online day one for London. A huge thank you to everybody that supported and played it this week. We hit all of our satellite guarantees.
Superb
throughout the week. So didn't overlay once on any of our daily satellites to get seats in. We satellited in, I think, 10 players in the end, although a couple of them had decent caches as well. So it's probably about 12 that actually got in. So half the field satellited in. Hopefully some of you got in for like the min, the £5.50, sorry. And really appreciate everybody supporting and playing those, and hopefully enjoyed, for some of you, the benefit of being able to guarantee yourself a min cash and getting to London for day 2 from your own home this weekend. So hopefully that worked out well.
Absolutely. And it's a big it's a big step change for a lot of players, Lee, to have to pay $120 to play in an online event, right? So it does take a little bit of getting your head around. It's not a £5 entry. I mean, obviously, yes, you can pre-qualify in from a lower price, but 120 is a pretty steep buy-in online for many of our players, I would say.
Yeah, no, it is. You fully appreciate that, and certainly even more so, I guess, in current times as well, where people maybe be a little bit more cautious about what they're choosing to do with their money. So we do appreciate it, and we know that the 24 players that played tonight, which means 4 have made it through to day 2. We're confident that the next Friday and Saturday, the day 1B and day 1C, we're going to see treble figures in the card room at Aspers on both of those days. There'll be plenty of players playing.
Well, just a question on that, Lee, coming in from Gary McBride, who I think Gary works on a Sunday night, so he'll be out there watching us while working. Are the day ones capped at 80, like it says on Party Poker?
I will answer that 1 second. We've got an all in a call, and it's Natalie flipping again. Ace King against 8. She's hitting 8s this time and avoids the 8. So as I said, you've got this is the point where you've got to win your flips. So it was Ace Queen against 5s and couldn't beat the 5s, but Ace King against 8s. And so Natalie, you lose a little bit, win a load more. So up to 1.5 million. So yes, to answer Gary's question, so in the holding tanks on Party Poker, both the days are capped at 80, but actually the cap is bigger than that. I think it's 130 each day is the cap in the venue. We've held back some seats to make sure that the venue can actually sell some live as well. I'm not expecting those holding tanks in Party to even get to the 80, to be honest. Those that want to try and just guarantee their seat have already bought in. They close tomorrow evening, I think it is. So if you do want to actually get your seat in advance, or you've got money on Party Poker and you just want to use that to pay for it, then go for it. But you will be able to buy in at the casino on the day. Won't be a problem.
Superb. Another question coming in, this time from the Oracle, Simon Lawler. Do you know if any SAT winners got through to day 2? So were there any SAT winners amongst tonight's 4 qualifiers?
Yes. So Kim, I'm pretty sure Kim satellited in. Joby bought in. I know that because I watched him buy in late today. I'm not sure about the other two. I've got unless they sat it in today and I see them in the lobby. It's not possible for me to know that for definite. But I know Kim. I'm pretty sure Kim did earlier on in the week. So.
And I think it's, we haven't made plans for the rest of the season, but I would imagine that as players become more accustomed to this as an option, it may become interesting.
Yes, it could. Well, actually, so Edward satellited in this evening. Nice. So yeah, it was in the 5 o'clock satellite. So pretty much got a seat in that, along with Peter Self and Sergio Esteban and GMAC. And yeah, a couple of hours later was playing that in the tournament. As Natalie's in again with Ace Jack against Tobias's Ace 10. Unless there's a 10, we're going to see Natalie win that one, and we'll be down to 5 players. And Natalie adding to a stack there.
She's a one-man wrecking crew at the moment, Leigh.
Yeah, looking good. What you've got now is you've got two big stacks there at the top of the table. Natalie on the left, Richard on the right, and then the other 3. All playing similar-ish sort of 300, 400,000 stacks, which is sort of 15 to 20 bigs. So yeah, they're all in a pretty similar situation regarding how they're going to play their stack sizes. And obviously, we know that both Richard and Natalie have got plenty of experience playing these stages of tournaments. So yeah, they're going to have to pick the spots here. These other 3 if they want to try and get back into this. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. And Simon Allen and Tony G, both out there, both saying good evening, all evening to you guys. Hope you're having a good one. As we're deep into our main event on Leaderboard Ladders tonight. Natalie Bromley currently leading here with Richard King close behind.
So I'm just keeping an eye on the others. So we're still on the money bubble in the PLO. So 7 of those remaining. So waiting for that money. I think it was going to go very shortly. Actually, was a player there now with just a couple of bigs. So that's likely to be there. And the turbo knockout is down to 18 now. We're paying top 9, so still half the field to disappear from that before we get into the money. But yeah, so these guys now we're down to 5, so they've already locked up now $160, and as I mentioned, 676 up top. So lots to play for. This is obviously good for Natalie, because it's her birthday week. And she's one that tends to celebrate as long as she possibly can when it comes to things like birthdays. So yeah, so spent it down in London earlier on in the week, and then popped back up to play the GUKPT Manchester. I think she might have done a bit of work or something somewhere in between all of that. I'm not completely convinced she did, and has then rolled up just to win a bit of cash on a Sunday night with us. So it's all good.
It's the only way to live your life, Leigh. That is indeed the jet set lifestyle that we're talking about there.
Oh, that's it. That's pretty much it. It says for a Burnley fan, it says it doesn't get any better.
It really doesn't get any better, unless you can neck concrete. Neat, as they say.
Yeah. Oh dear, yeah. So yeah, it's I'd love to know whether, say, any of the guys that did satellite in, whether they did get in for the £5.50. Sorry, I'm so used to saying dollars. We're in pounds because it's London next weekend, but we've been dollars for 2 years, haven't we? Pretty much when we've been talking. As all in the call, Richard King's got the ace 5 and he's hit an ace. Just need to avoid the club and does, and we're going to lose Oni in 5th place. Oni from Finland finishes in 5th, so 4 left, and Richard trying to catch, thinking, well, hey, if Natalie's building chip stacks here, I'm going to have a bit of this as well. So this really is now 2 stacks at the top, huge compared to the two at the bottom, and I think they're going to carry on putting the pressure on here.
Yeah, it's pretty ominous this for Joseph and Peter here. I don't know what the play is. Get lucky.
Well, I think at some point, you've got to get lucky. I mean, Joseph did double up through Natalie with the 5s versus the ace queen earlier on. You've just got this is as I said, you've got to, when you're getting your chips in and you're flipping, you've just got to win your flips here.
Absolutely.
And he's running 7s into 9s. I mean, That's just
unlucky.
unfortunate. Got a few outs though.
He
Six.
does have outs.
Six will actually see him there, but it doesn't hit, and so we lose Joseph in fourth place, picking up $215, and we've got 3 left now. So the guys are all guaranteed $300. But this is looking very ominous here for Peter Shaw. I think it's Peter's. It's possibly a get your chips in, close your eyes, and hope.
I suspect he doesn't have too long to do so, Lee. He's probably considering that very thing now. And there they go. And he takes the pot.
So yeah, you can still. The fact is, you can still dent the stacks. So it's about picking your right moments to actually try and get your chips in and play back. They're not going to, Natalie and Richard haven't got cards all the time, albeit they do both seem to have, at Showdown so far, they've not been doing anything light here. This has been pocket pairs or premium ace, king, ace, queen.
Absolutely.
I think that's pretty much all I've seen them show so far. So they are hitting some cards on this final table.
Listen, Lee, Natalie is out there. She says, don't ruin my birthday week by talking about Burnley. I can't believe that she means that. Not at all. You can talk about Burnley all of the time, I'm sure. And Natalie, Tony Gentini, only really discovered APAT online during lockdown, but I'll be at Aspers at the weekend. Looking forward to meeting everyone in person. Unfortunately, I've work commitments on Saturday, so I won't be able to play the main, but aim to play both side events. So Tony, make sure you come and say hello, right? Search us out. Make sure you do that, and we'll introduce you around.
I was well chuffed because today I think I have my second Tony G follower on Twitter. I think I have the other Tony G, I think follows me on Twitter, but I now have this Tony G as well that follows me on Twitter. So I was well chuffed.
I feel like I might be down to 2 Tony G followers, but c'est la vie. I'll keep working on that. Now, Tony's getting some advice, right? So Tris is saying, Tony, play live day 1 on Friday, mate. And who else? Yeah, as day 1's on Friday and Saturday. Who needs sleep anyway? So there you go. It's all coming in from Triplin. So Tony, get involved. That's what you say,
yeah,
Lee. That's your thing, isn't it? Get
that's
involved.
The line, isn't it? Get involved. Well, Tristan. I mean, he played the online day 1 earlier on. He doubled up first hand.
He did.
Very first hand. He sent me the message about it. Doubled up first hand. We can only assume that player who's against had aces. Tristan had 9s, and I think it was a 9 on the flop. And saying the chips all went in, but I don't think the cards got. So I think he said it might well have been aces. So very first hand. I mean, it's back to that. How many times have we on the forum had the discussion about, are you going all in with aces first hand in an APAT tournament? That discussion's probably been done. Actually, saying that, Peter's all in. Natalie's made the call. Richard's made the call. So they're 3. This is a huge pot. This is a huge pot. It's surely they're going to check this down.
I think so, but it's not.
No,
really,
Richard fires in, and Natalie's made the call.
Interesting.
It's a massive pot here. It's gone check again, and Richard's got 7s, and that's going to be enough to take the lot. And we're heads up. Peter Shaw finishes in 3rd place, picking up $300, and we are heads up. Richard now with a chip lead over Natalie, 2.5 million against Natalie's 1.5 million. So good luck to both of them. Wow, that all moved quite quickly.
Yeah, it certainly did. But, we expected this heads-up battle, and here it comes. Don't blink, because this one, I think, could be fiery. I don't see either of them backing down too easily, I have to say. Meanwhile, out there, Triplin has obviously been trying to upsell Tony G into a Saturday game. Tony says, well, it starts at 7. I've got an early start Saturday, so not sure I can do it. He's tempted, though. He is tempted. And he does agree, Lee. That was him on Twitter. The honour was all his.
Excellent. Excellent. He's going to be massively disappointed because I
very low quality content. Very low quality indeed.
It's like it's Labradors charities.
Absolutely.
But that's about a bit of poker. That's about
it. That's right. And he shares me occasionally. It's very low. It's very low.
Yeah. So
just sign up for the labs. That's about the only reason you would.
Yeah.
I can't even offer the labs, I have to say.
Yeah, it's all good.
But if you want to buy a lottery ticket, I'm the place to come to now.
Yes, you are. Yeah, that is very true.
Oh, Tony, listen, Tony is saying he's booked Monday off work So, he sort of partly planned it right, Leigh, partly planned it right.
He's obviously got high expectations that he's going to, he's going to go very deep on the Sunday night and need the Monday to work out what to do with all the money. That's the plan. I like it though. I like that's what you've got to do. You've got to have, so there's no point. I remember my first ever APAT tournament. I think I've said this story because you were involved, because it's a conversation I had with you. And I won a satellite online to play it. So it would have been back in season 1 at Luton. So I travelled up from Southampton, where I was living at the time, to Luton and played this tournament. First time I ever met Jer was at that tournament actually, and Ironside and lots of players, and ran deep. I made the day 2, and I wasn't even sure what making the day 2 meant exactly, but I knew it. Well, I'm back. I've got a stack, so bagged up the chips and all that. First time I ever done that, and I remember you talking to you, and you the usual questions back in the day. There was you had a good time, you enjoyed yourself, it's like So, and you said so where are you staying? I said,
I think you might have said Southampton.
Staying. I hadn't booked a hotel or anything. It's like I just had zero expectations of actually doing anything. And I said, I'm driving home from Luton to that. So I'll be back tomorrow. And you said, all right, well, safe journey. And that was that. So, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Leigh. I'll tell you what. I've seen a few things over my time, particularly in the early APATs. Similarly, players coming in not quite thinking beyond. I'm going to walk into a casino and play some cards. I've seen people sleep in their cars. All sorts. I have to say, a lot worse than that too. A lot.
Of course, back then. I mean, we're talking 2007. I think Luton was of season 1. And I've said this on the show before. Now there, players would turn up with little crib sheets of the hand rankings and have it next to them on the table.
Some of us organisers turned up with those crib sheets.
Yeah. And of course, where things have moved on, we still have people that turn up for an APAT event, and it's great that we're back live now, and players will turn up for their first ever APAT, or possibly their first ever live tournament.
Yeah.
But of course, the difference is now they've played a ridiculous number of online hands, and although they might still be nervous when it comes to riffling the chips and moving the chips around and acting out of turn and this, that, but actually they've played a lot of poker. And they know what the hand rankings are. They know their pot odds. They know they know what's going on. It's a huge difference from when it was back in 2006, 2007, where online poker was there, but it still wasn't actually anything at the levels of where it really. I'm not even sure when I'd say where it peaked, or whether it still is going up now. But you're probably better suited to to comment on that than me, as to whether where it maxed out.
Well, I'd be tempted to say today we have many who are among the best players in the country, in my humble opinion, but I don't think we've lost any of the friendliness. So super competitive, but played in the right spirit always. And I think that's one of the key things that make APAT quite unique. Now, listen, we've got a good, strong player here, Leigh. Eden All, driving back from Brighton, where he was at the Sky Poker Tour, Mr. Wigglesworth. So
he had a cash. He had a cash in that today, so made it back. Cracking numbers down there for the weekend, and I got to see some pics of him with TK, and Jen Mason popped in to say hi to them. Neil Channing was there as well, so I think I sent you one of Neil, TK, and Jen, because Jen decided to pop in and see the crew down there. So all looking well and healthy and enjoying their poker, which is what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely lovely to see. And I think I was there right at the start of it, Sky Poker Tour, back in the day. Crikey, 10 years I think the Sky Poker Tour has been running now. 10, 11 years, I'm sure.
Would that have been your baby? Were you there when it first launched? Or did...
I think I might have been there when it first launched, but I think it's probably, I'd have to pass the honour of that one on to Mr. Kendall, because he was super, super deeply smart guy in terms of, running these types of things. And I mean, he'd have seen the impact of APAT.
I'm passionate about it. I mean, I actually, as being smart about it's one thing, but actually, Tony cares about it. And cares about the players.
Cares about the players.
Cares about massively. And it's so nice to see.
Yeah, if you run a business like that, call it what you will, call it whatever you will. You need to get out and see the players, right? And not enough people in poker do that today. I think on the online side, they don't get out to meet the players.
No, No, that is very, very true. Tristan in the chat said, "I hope you sent Paul Simon the Gen picture." He did get to see the pictures. Yes, they were in the APAT show team group. So yeah, I think he nearly was in the car on the way down to Brighton, and then realised he'd been drinking. So probably best not to. So
talking of drinking, Brendan Byrne is out there. I'm loaded, Peter, but go on. How did you get on? Well, we know where he is, Leigh. We know exactly where he is in the house, don't we?
All in the call.
By the window.
It's
Here we go.
Nines versus Ace Queen. It's the nines at risk.
It's a 9.
And a 9's hit, which means avoiding the clubs, and it's done. And Natalie's going to double up. So the chip lead swings back the other way. Not by very much now. It's nearly evens. But this is all about, that's just about winning the flips, isn't it? Really.
You take
lost a few hands there, and Richard was really kind of just chipping away there. And then Natalie got one back and was back up to over 1 million again. And then wins a flip and double up, and it's gone the other way now. All still to play for.
That's the great thing about this game. You can play it at numerous different levels. You can be incredibly scientific in the way you approach it. You can be very feel-orientated in the way you approach it. But ultimately, at points, you're going to have to win your flips.
Yeah, there's not really a huge amount you can do if you lose. A lot of the time, they're just a 50-50. It's like, flip of a coin, heads or tails. And sometimes you can lose 3, 4, 5, 6 of those in a row and think, how's that possible? Well, the fact is, it is possible. And you can just as easily win 3, 4, 5 of those in a row and it go your way. And that's the way you've got to look at it. But you're right. You can play as technical and scientific and to the maths as you want to, but there are times where it is just a case of I'm flipping a coin here and I've got to get it good.
I remember both, and this might be a little unfair to both because the World Series of Poker main event is, it's just a huge event in terms of getting through to a final table or whatever. But I remember both Jamie Gold and Jerry. I want to say Jerry Wong.
Well, I know there's somebody in chat. Yeah. Somebody in chat here will either correct you if necessary. So,
but in both cases, they got big stacks and then they just pushed. They pushed everything. It was like pressure, and they won their flips.
Yeah. That's the way it is. I mean, I think you're running well in a tournament if you're always getting in, getting it in good, or you're never getting it in bad. So at least if the very worst is you're flipping. You kind of know, okay, I'm playing well. I'm in the zone. I'm not getting things in behind and sucking out on players and getting lucky. I think that's when you kind of know, okay, you've done. But the point is, you've still got to win those flips. I think the best players are the ones that, even when it comes to flips, aren't putting their tournament life on the line for a flip.
Yeah.
So when they've got a stack, they're prepared to take the flips because you'll win one, lose one, whatever it is. But I think that the good players are the ones that are able to not put your tournament life online on a 50-50. And go, well, actually, I'm waiting for something better. And that's understanding your stacks, your opponent's stacks, the dynamic of the table, where you are in the tournament. And that's the ability to do that and know, well, actually, I'm not going to do that. And you can see it. Sometimes you watch televised games and watch, or you sat watching, even an APAT game, and the good players in APAT are the ones you go, well, actually, you kind of think, oh, well, they never really were kind of went to showdown very much. So, well, no, they're being very sensible about the way they're playing. As Natalie's put a little bet in here on this 397 board, and it's been raised up by Richard to 210,000. Back on Natalie to have a think here. It's the call. I can't believe the deuce of clubs is going to help either of them very much. Natalie fires out another bet, just over half the pot. Gets called by Richard though, so we're going to see the third spade. Spade has landed, and that's an all-in bet from Richard.
Strong play, isn't it? You've got to have the clubs to call this, I think, or the spade.
If you've not got the spade, if you've not got the spades, and whether Richard had the spades or not is irrelevant because
strong play.
His view was Natalie didn't, and that was that. So so that swings back again now. So Richard with the chip lead again.
So listen, Leigh, it was Jerry Yang. The Oracle, of course, came up with that information. Our good mate Drew SA is in the chat box. Welcome the old Canadians to the World Cup, eh? So I'm guessing that means Canada have qualified for Qatar. I assume that happened today. They were leading the group, which included the US. So top result for Canada, if that's in fact the case. Drew is planning to have a Molson over a harp today. So in the zone. Well done, Canada.
I'm hoping come June, because that's where we've got to wait till now, unfortunately for the Welsh, that after a great performance during the week, a Gareth Bale performance during the week, which was just ridiculous considering how little he's played for Real Madrid.
Did you hear?
Just incredible.
Did you hear some wag journalist asked Boris when he was over at some conference or a summit, or it's probably something incredibly important a couple of days ago, hey, what do you think if we let Ukraine through to the finals of the World Cup? Should we do that? And Boris went, that actually sounds like a really good idea. Of course we should. I think everybody would agree with that. And somebody else said, you realize that would knock both Wales and Scotland, both of them out. He went, okay. God damn it.
Yeah, maybe not then. Yeah. Is Natalie going to make the call? It's Ace Jack versus Ace Jack. So as long as we don't get a crazy number of
diamonds.
Oh no, we're okay. that would have been pretty brutal if that had played out that way. That really would have been. It's a really tough one, isn't it? Because I think everybody would love Ukraine to get to the World Cup final. Now, I'm sure. Yeah, there's nobody would begrudge that if that happened, but obviously they've got to first of all beat Scotland, and I'd quite like to see Scotland there, but either of those teams has then got to beat Wales. And to be honest, if I'm choosing from the three, it's going to be Wales every time.
I'd be surprised if you didn't choose Wales, to be honest.
Yeah,
I have to say,
which would be breaking I think it's 64 or 66 years. Somebody, I think it's 1956 was the last time we played in the World Cup. I mean, to be this close now, one game.
Yeah, you've got to be looking forward to that. Particularly with Bale in that form. I mean, the guy plays 2 games a year, and he's scintillating in both of them. What the hell are the Spanish going on about? I mean, Marca
he's seeing out his contract at Real, isn't he? And he's been treated pretty poorly, I think, over there. I don't think he's done a huge amount wrong for the club for whatever reason. Once you get to the wrong side of the Spanish media and the Marca there, you're kind of done for. And he's taken the view, fine, I'll just
take the money.
I'll just do my thing. And,
okay.
and
Nothing
the
wrong with
thing
that.
is, even when he's been fit, they're not picking him.
Yeah.
And they stripped him of the number 11 shirt, and it's none of it feels great. That's been done. And I think he's very much going to see out his contract. Do you know what? You might find he doesn't play again. It could be that if Wales get to the World Cup in the autumn, he might turn around and go, that's me done. I get the sense that
he still has a chunk to offer. You'd have to say,
but I'm not sure how much he's in love with the game anymore. And really, I think he enjoys playing for Wales and the team spirit of that. But I mean, for somebody, he's going to be a great free transfer for somebody come the summer. If somebody wants to take him on for a couple of years,
definitely go to Man United. He's their type of purchase. He's old enough. He's got all the money you could possibly need. No motivation needed there. Just let's buy him. Sorry, Lee, that's your club.
I'd imagine he'll go back to Spurs maybe for a couple of seasons, see it out at Spurs maybe, something like that.
I don't know.
He certainly doesn't need a money move, so he can pretty much go and play wherever he fancies playing.
I don't think he'd be a massively Conte type signing at Spurs. I think
I don't think he'd be a United signing. I don't think
he'll go to United. I think he'd be maybe akin to what United did last summer.
That's my point. Is well, where would he go? Where he's going to get a game and be happy, and I'm not sure whether there will be. As Natalie wins that one, Richard had a go at it, and Natalie decided that the 7 she had with the King was more than good enough, and it was. And they are pretty much even stacks now.
Triplin was out there saying Yang, so we're back to Jerry Yang. He was a pain. I think Jamie Gold must have the most annoying of chip leaders, though. I think he was. Jamie Gold was absolutely incredibly annoying, but he was entertaining at the same time to watch. And the Oracle reminds you that it was 1958 when Wales were last.
58, sorry.
That would have been Sweden, I think, right? 58.
58, you are right. Yes, not 56.
That was Pele's World Cup, his first World Cup, I think. Sweden 58 from memory. I mean, not that I was there. I wasn't there or anything. Yeah, so 64 years. So
getting my numbers all screwed up on a Sunday night, which is not good when I'm doing what I normally do on a Sunday night. That's a terrible thing to
listen. I'm sure you join with me, Leigh. I know Simon was having some work done, some procedures and stuff like that over the last couple of weeks. Hope you're well, Simon. Hope you're doing okay, my friend. Your feet up on a Sunday night, I hope.
Absolutely. It's also been a strange weekend. Woke up to the shocking news about Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters, who a band that I absolutely love and have given me many happy days and nights with friends and family at gigs over the last sort of 2 decades, really. And at the age of 50, very sad.
Yeah, it's too
very
young.
sad indeed.
Too young.
Yeah, way too young. And someone that's so passionate about what he did and just loved life and loved what he did. Yeah, very sad indeed. So just looking at the Turbo Knockout as Natalie wins that one. They're in the money now, and one Daniel Williams is 9th of 9 at the moment. Dan is currently streaming on Twitch TV on his channel Decaf TV. Don't check it out now. It's not even worth bothering checking out now. Well, wait till we finish the show, then have a look if you want to. But Decaf TV, you can find Dan over on that. He's playing a little. But what I would say, if you haven't, check out the Facebook group. If you haven't, I mean, we've been posting so much over the past few days, it might have got missed. But Dan put a post up the other day. He's doing an ultra marathon, which is something like 56 miles or something, raising money for a Gloucester youth charity. He's got a target of like 400 quid that he's trying to, which I think for doing a 56-mile ultra marathon is
it's insane.
Is crazy. So if you could go and support them, they're doing a lot of good work to support people that have struggling with what's gone on the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything in his local area. And he's doing something which he loves in running, but still it's still quite nuts to be doing it. So if you want to go and give him a bit of support, that would be greatly appreciated.
Listen, I have a trivia question for you, Leigh, and I know, being a man of your ilk, you'll probably just answer this, right? But we'll see. Which APATer is a world record in ultra marathon running? World record holder.
World record holder, an APATer.
An APATer, ultra marathon running.
Well, the only ultra marathon would be Dara, though, but obviously he's not really an APATer.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm not giving you Dara. Can't give you that one.
Ultra
marathon. I think I might have you. This feels like a rarity. Oh, I'm not giving you the answer.
It's not Mike. It's not Mike. Mike?
You can drop that one.
It's not Mike, then. No. Okay.
I don't know. Not Mike, no.
Mike Scothan I was thinking of.
Yeah. No, I think I saw him in a helicopter or a plane today, but it wasn't Mike.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's some picture on the Facebook. Not Mike. I can narrow down the search. I can narrow it down for you if you want.
Put it out in the chat as well. If anybody in the chat knows, feel free to have a
which APATer in the last few months?
Oh, last few months
has broken some national records, and has ran like I think I'm right in saying like 100-mile ultra marathon run. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
How have I not known about this? Okay.
Well, I know. I think I'm
male or female.
Well, I mean, I can answer that. Do you want me to answer that?
I don't know. Is that going to probably isn't even going to help?
It's going to narrow it down a bit. Well, I can answer it. Female. You look even more confused. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
Name a city that begins with L that has a big population, Des.
Yeah. It's feeling like that kind of moment. Yeah.
Lagos.
No, I mean, no disrespect to the APAT population, but I'm kind of, when we're talking ultra marathons here, I'm not thinking that there's that many candidates.
Listen, Chris Bean is out there. I gotta share some of this stuff because it's glorious. Chris Bean is out there. If it's Stu Ward, I'm gonna eat my laptop. It's not Stu Ward. No, it's not Stu Ward. And Jason Williams is saying, it's Ben Young. No, it's not Ben Young. It's not Waltzy Pies. It's nobody like that. It's a woman.
I've
you've played with her, Leigh. You've played with her. Well, that didn't come out quite the way
I was gonna
I
say,
meant it, but
I'd like to, Your Honor, I'd like to make the point that yes,
I'd
you know,
like to just
I'd
request the
like, can I
fifth
change
on
my
that.
counsel, please? Yeah. Just like that.
Look, I'll narrow it down further. You've played with her in Brighton.
Brighton.
In Brighton, you've played with her
Are
in
we talking
Brighton.
Are we talking the first ever team
Well,
event?
I mean, how? Yeah, do you want me to name a name? I mean, how much information do you want?
I genuinely can't even think who was there that would be.
Well, yeah, it was in Brighton. It was the team event. It was 2008. And she was the captain of Hungary.
Oh,
really? Yes.
Wow.
Victoria
wow.
Shalazi?
Yeah.
Discovered running in 2015. Wow. By 2018, she's Canadian-Hungarian. So Drew will know this, of course. She's smashing Canadian records all over the place. And I think she's got some serious records over super long distances.
I know she kind of took a break from poker because she had a kid, didn't she? So
yeah, that's right.
I'm assuming that's probably now ages ago. The kid's probably a teenager or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's got 4 kids now, but for the last 7 or 8 years, she's been running
super bits. Decided ultra marathons is the way just to get away. Well, yeah, that's
it makes perfect sense. So I'm connected with Victoria on the Facebook, of course, from back in the day, and you know, every now and again we say hello, but just she's become this magnificent runner.
Good for her. That's amazing.
Fair play. Fair play.
Absolutely superb. Well, Natalie's taken a serious chip lead here now. He's got a 3-1 chip lead over Richard. So with blinds now at 20,000 and 40,000, is Natalie going to be able to see this out? They're certainly playing quite a few hands here, and actually we're seeing the bets down the streets as well. So it's not a case of just getting your chips in the middle here. There's a bit of poker being played between these two, but that's not surprising, is it really?
No, to be honest, it's good poker, right? This one has been over and back.
Yeah,
in a strong position now, but this isn't guaranteed done. Not at all.
No, definitely not. We're in the money now in the turbo. Richard Carter, first players to bust that. Dan Williams is now picked up a few chips there. Di Farrell's is still in that one as well, so I'll keep an eye on that one as well. It's aces versus Queen 9, and that's going to be that. I mean, what a way to win a tournament on your birthday week.
That is it.
Pocket aces, and that is that done. I will, if you bear with me a second, I will bring up the
super. We can do that. Meanwhile,
the final one for the night, but well done to Natalie. That's absolutely superb. So Natalie picks up $676.60 troubles in that one tonight. Richard King settles for $436. Can't complain with that though. Absolutely superb. Oh, excellent.
Yeah, well done, guys. Great.
So well done to both of them.
Great run out. Great heads up, Lee.
Yeah, it was, and we're down to 8. So this might just break in a second because I have a funny feeling we're about to jump to the final table any second in this. But we'll watch this as an all-in call here anyway, which is Philip with the Queen Jack against Nicholas's Ace King, and there's enough clubs on the board there that's going to see a double up for Philip in that one. This table's also got Dan Williams on it as well, who we mentioned is streaming at the moment. Pontus Dahlgren from Sweden as well has got 500,000 in chips. Pontus plays regularly with APAT, so we'll see this one out, because actually we're still at 11:15. So we've managed to get through a number of tournaments tonight. We are heads up in the PLO. So that's why I've switched over to this one, just because we're heads up in there. But actually, Sofia Fernandez from Argentina has got a 2-1 chip lead over James Foxley in the PLO. Sofia plays again a regular player with APAT from Argentina. So
listen, Lee,
good to see her doing well.
That old wag Jason Williams is out there. He's not accepting that it was Victoria Shalazi. He's saying, no, girl, it's got to be Dan Austin. Well, I mean, yeah, a certain light, I think, perhaps. Triplin, nice one, Brommers. Well played, Natalie, from Simon. So Natalie getting some love, as you'd expect, in the chat box.
Yeah, really, that's really, really nice. end to what's been a good week for her.
Oh, and there she is to top
Nice.
all of the chat box stuff off. Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, "Whoa!" Come on, Leigh. Come on, Leigh. You missed your cue there. You're meant to go,
Excellent. Yeah, no,
"Whoa!"
completely,
Well done,
absolutely.
Bromers.
Really, really pleased for Natalie. She's been an absolute star on the APAT show over the last 2 years for us, and has done loads of stuff with other projects we've had on the go as well. And bear in mind, she's a busy, she's got a full-time job, and she does all the media stuff that she does on the football side of things as well, and now the charity thing that she started.
Hearts of Queens, right?
Super busy lady, but has always got time for us, and we do appreciate that greatly. We really do.
Absolutely.
It's always nice then. Always nice to see the good ones win a tournament every now and again.
There she is, right smack in the middle of the medals there. Bromers with the UK winning team from 4 weeks ago at DTD.
Yeah. So as I said, I thought we were about to jump to a final table, so that will skip in a second, but bear with me because I'll be very, very super quick. And there you go. There's your final table for the turbo. So I'll keep an eye on the PLO as well. But Dan Williams has made this final table, as so has Di Farrell. Matthias Dieters from Germany is another regular player with APAT. Who else have we got there on this one? We've got Jackson Dejalis from Canada as well. So it's one for Drew to cheer on. And straight away we got some action. 10s versus ace 8, and the 10s hold. And Philip gets a double up there. Philip's from the Czech Republic. So
Simon Allen is out there saying, "Handsome bunch that." Hey, he's got to be talking about. I mean, he can't have been talking about the APAT team, with the exception of the two ladies. I mean, you wouldn't describe them as a handsome bunch. I mean, they were slightly rough looking, I thought. Leigh, what did you think yourself?
Well, yeah, I mean, we can say that
rough.
because we didn't make the team, isn't it? Yeah, so we can
slightly rough, slightly unfriendly. A lot of them very unfriendly. I mean, I didn't even get an invite into the WhatsApp group. Never mind the team.
You still haven't. It got mentioned. It keeps getting mentioned. Whenever it gets mentioned, everyone goes, "Yeah, why isn't he in it?" And then
I wouldn't let me in. I really wouldn't let me in. No, I wouldn't. I mean, the only way I get to get an APAT medal is if I steal one from stock. I have to tell Tom, can you send this guy a sort of an APAT medal? And he hasn't yet noted that it's always my address.
See, there was a chat. There was a chat on Facebook this week. As Dan's in with Ace King against 5-6, and he's going to be good for a double up through Jackson there. Sweet. Yeah, I think it was I can't try to think who it was now that Adam Sharp's put in messages saying, well, you're just curious to who's won the most, who's got the most APAT medals, and it's Tom Brady, isn't it? He manages the stock, so it's got to be Tom. Not a problem. It's a good question though. Actually, we are in the process of kind of updating a lot of the statistics and stuff. It's been a bit of a crazy couple of years.
Is John out there? Sorry, is John out there? John,
yes.
How are we doing? Where are you?
How are we getting on with it? It has been a crazy couple of years.
Just
briefly back to the Foo Fighters thing. Jen and I were sitting and thinking, obviously a very sad Taylor passing, and well, so you're not going to see that Foo Fighters lineup again. And then, so when was the last time they played the UK then? And I was like, well, we were there. Mm-hmm. It was Reading Festival 2019. Yeah. And these guys normally are, tour in the UK every year at some point. Yeah. So we were at that gig, and you think, crikey, wow, the last 3 years, what the hell's gone on? Like, it's just absolutely insane. Obviously they're due to tour this summer. I've got tickets for Birmingham. Obviously, hey, whatever they choose to do is entirely, I don't think you're going to get a fan that's going to complain about whatever they decide to do with that. But to think that's how mad the last 2 and a bit years has been with all these things that you think just kind of normally happen and go on. Yeah, it doesn't hasn't been like that, has it?
I saw it with the E Street Band, Leigh. Same thing. Springsteen and the E Street Band. I saw them in the 80s, the 90s, the noughties, and the 10s. So 4 decades of watching that band playing. Of course, we lost Clarence Clements, we lost Danny Federici. So the band has sort of reformed. But to be honest, the magic is still there, and we never forget the guys who went before. I have a lovely picture.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing with bands is they very rarely just go, right, that's enough, and we're just going to stop. They'll always find a way to do it because they're passionate about what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's as Des all in, ace queen against king queen, so she's in good shape. Just needs to avoid a king or a 10, and does so. So double up for Des through Nicholas.
Nice hand.
It's been a busy final table so far. This has 7 players remaining, but they've certainly not been hanging about getting their chips in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a cracker, this one. Of course, we're going to hit the break shortly. And Leigh, I've got a little story for you when we do hit the break. There I was today, out for a little spin. I was heading over to Costco to get something. Sean was driving, right? And we drive up this road, and there's 2 cars in the middle of the road, right? And there's cars either side of them, so the space isn't such that both cars can get through. So we've driven up behind them. We're in a bit of a Mexican standoff, right? There's no music. There's no sombreros on the path or anything. There's nothing like that. But neither is moving. So we sat there for about 5 minutes, and then I put the old video camera on, and well, I'll show it to you in the break. I mean, it's a minute
did
off.
Did it really go?
Well, it didn't really, but it's still worth watching because, frankly, with what's happening in the world, what can I say?
Yeah, come on. It's a Sunday afternoon, folks. Let's
just crack on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's no heat-seeking missiles coming into your direction, so don't be afraid to move. Crack on. It was very weird.
Better things to be worrying about. That is for sure. Yeah, definitely. So whilst we are just a minute off from the break, so let's confirm for those that were kind of late to the party that the day one online day one for the for APAT London concluded for that. So well done to those guys. Joby Plunkett with just shy of 1.3 million in chips, Edward Rawlingson with 555,000, Owen Fee with 298,000, and Kim Callow with 250,000. So well done to the 4 of them. They're all in the money for London this same time next week. So Sunday afternoon, they'll be in the mix with all those that also make it through. As we're going to lose Jackson, run into a couple of hands against Nicholas there and just doubled him up, and has then ended up busting through him as well. So Nicholas now got a huge stack from say was kind of shortish, has now got up to 1.2 million. Yes, so well done to all of those that made it through.
Nice job,
I think Joby's 1.3 million. I think is going to put him in really good stead for the day 2 in London next week. Talking about APAT London, it's a live event. It's next weekend. So there's a day 1 on the Friday night. It starts at 7 o'clock. Day 2 starts on the Saturday at 1 o'clock. And we're at Asper's Casino. You can buy in if you want to book your seat in advance. You can go onto the Party Poker lobby now. You'll see 2 holding tanks. Get yourself in there. They close tomorrow. So if you do want to get in and just guarantee yourself a seat in there, I'd recommend doing that either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, so you're done. If not, failing that, you can buy in from the poker room on the day. Just say there's the potential there that you might be in an alternates list or a little bit of a wait, depending on the numbers that we get. We're expecting some decent numbers from local walk-ups for this event, as well as all those that have decided to travel and make a weekend of it in London. It's a great place to be as well. Stratford's awesome. Westfield Shopping Centre there, the Olympic Park. It's a fantastic place. We've held APAT events there on numerous occasions. We've had a number of WCOAPs there as well. So it's a fantastic venue, and I'm really looking forward to getting back there and get some more live poker in. Should be good.
Oh, looking forward to it, Leigh. I have to say, second event of the season. Can't wait. Asper's a great venue. Come along, walk in. It'll be worth it. So Leigh, look, taking you back to this Mexican standoff, I know you'll enjoy this. So let me play this video for you. This was earlier today. 2 blokes just looking at each other in a gap that won't fit them both. Can you picture yourself in this position? Bear in mind, we'd been sat here for about 5 minutes to this point. I didn't want to leave, I'll be honest. Oh, Sean, I think I'm going to have to show this on the 8-Bat show tonight.
This is what we need. A moped.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Right. Let's get in 1 more minute and then... The one of them smoking. He's just smoking away in his car, and the smoke's bellowing out of the window. It's unbelievable.
Oh, hello.
There we go.
Hello.
No.
BMW.
I think BMW driver. Yeah, he is. He's just throwing his fag out the window. BMW driver's checking the gap. Yeah, it's time to turn around, Des. It's time to turn. This is.
Right, can you turn in that gap there, love,
Yeah,
so I can
I
get
will,
both
I
of
will.
these guys on camera? There's your motorbike. Right, that's what we're doing now. That's what it's like down the path. Gone through
Definitely
the gap.
going
Through the
turn,
gap, love.
'cause-
Yes. There we go. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Oh,
What's this, Lee? Are you watching, Lee?
Oh, bloke on the street.
This is superb. People driving down the pavement. Oh, that's good though, isn't it? That's proper good thinking.
Wait for
How
the
many
pun.
cars?
When-
How many cars are behind you?
Oh, he's moved! Are you kidding me?
Just go.
Oh, fuck. The Audi give up. The Audi give up just as I'm. Oh, now I'm miffed.
Now I'm miffed. There you go. My lady was miffed.
Oh,
Lee, my
dear,
lady
oh
was
dear.
miffed. I mean, it's mad,
So
isn't
nothing other than they just both went for the gap and stopped, and
I
then
guess
neither would
so.
give way.
I guess so. I mean, I sat
Wow.
behind them for 5 or 6 minutes prior to that
Goodness
point.
me, what a
That's just mad, isn't it? Given everything that's going on in the world, it's just crazy. C'est la vie.
dear, oh dear. Absolutely, yeah. What is that all about? I don't really know. So Simon's in the chat saying, will we be live streaming day 2 or the FT? Yeah, we're planning on doing some content. I don't think it'll be necessarily a full on kind of table stream as we've done maybe in previous years. We'll be looking to do some more kind of snippet reporting, that kind of thing of what's going on on the Sunday, very much so. So as I say, it's technology permitting, we will certainly be looking to get stuff out on
Absolutely.
Facebook, kind of player interviews and exits and that kind of thing. That's the plan.
I guess it's worth mentioning at this point, Lee. It almost certainly won't be an APAT show as such next Sunday evening because of it, but there will be other content flowing out, as Lee said, broadband allowing, as it were.
Yeah, but don't forget, leaderboard ladders will continue, and I will still update everything for the leaderboards for the Sunday night. So that will get done as is always the way. We never sleep until the leaderboard's been updated. That is the APAT rules. So
Hey, our boys out there. This is one John Murray. He's been stuck down with laziness 19. I think he's had the COVID, but he seems to be getting over it now. That's good to hear, John. We do like that. And Mr. Haycock says, love how Sean says she's miffed, but just before she whispers, yeah.
yeah, I did pick up on that. That's very good. I love the fact you'd already primed this for. I'm going to have to show this on the APAT show.
It was
tonight. Right,
obvious. It was obvious.
We want to get. Can we get a good angle? Can we get a bit better lighting? Can we get lighting in here? I need a second.
Well,
camera crew.
Listen, we've had a weekend of it. We drove down to to Crawley yesterday, Creepy Crawley, from just the other side of the M25 down the M23, and I don't know if you heard about the major police crash where
the
Audi.
only reason I know about it is because Mr. Wigglesworth was going down to Brighton to play the Sky event. So
Didn't know
apparently there was a 2-car.
Oh, it was many more.
Or something, or was it below?
Yeah, I think it impacted about 5 cars, 2 police cars, a few people banged up and what have you. But we passed it. The police cars were very badly damaged, and of course it was an absolute nightmare coming back because the M23 was, it was just it was horrible, horrible.
And of course, it's been a great bit of weather in the UK for the past past week or so, and so people are very much feeling like COVID's over. I don't know what John's talking about, but apparently COVID's done, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's all good. We're all vaccinated, so that's all great. So pretty much you can just get out and enjoy what the UK has to offer now. Don't worry, no bother whatsoever. It's great. So thank goodness that's all been done, and Boris fixed it all. I mean, brilliant. It's really good to know.
Yes, the Boris and Rishi show. I tell you what, it is a bit spooky though to turn on the news and you see some sort of report from China or something. Everybody's seriously masked up and looking very, very worried.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh Christ, I remember that. That didn't seem that long ago, really.
Yeah, it's I say I don't think we're kind of I don't think we're done with it yet, are we? I think is the reality. It's just there's lots of other things going on in the world at the moment which are kind of well, I don't say more important, but a kind of a little bit even scarier maybe is the right way. So it's difficult to know what to worry about. And Matthias has got it all in with ace king, and Nicholas made the call with ace 4, which is a fairly loose call out of the big blind. And he's going to double Matthias up. To be fair to Nicholas, he had a decent enough stack there, so it was probably about 20% of his stack, something like that. So
in that sort of scenario, your ace could be good.
Not the worst one, but it's pretty loosish. But that's the trouble with this, I guess, this turbo tournament on a 9 o'clock one on a Sunday night is you just got to get on with it, haven't you? I don't think there's a huge amount of time to think things through too much. I think if you're the big stack and you wake up with an ace, you're going to do it. And certainly Nicholas has been pretty aggressive on this final table in playing hands, and is going to get it all in against Carlos here as well. They've both got ace queen, so avoiding clubs and spades, which we do, it'll be chopped up. The PLO is still going. Sophia can't quite get rid of James Foxley. She still has a 2-1 chip lead, but just can't quite see him off in this PLO. Both guaranteed $230. It's 375 up top, so they're playing for about $145 difference in the PLO. With John Rees finishing in third in that one.
Nice recovery from John there. He was a bit short, I think, when we mentioned him a little earlier on.
Yeah, he's good player. So haven't seen much of him in the last couple of years. Kind of dips in occasionally to play.
Yes, but we know him live, events. Right? He's very consistent at events live.
Absolutely. Very much the case. So there's plenty of players that are already regged up for the for London for next week. So as I say, both holding tanks are open at the moment. So if you want to get in and guarantee your seat, there's to mention some names. So Di Farrell's already registered up, Carl Pilgrim, JP Round, Gordon MacArthur, Gary Lippman, Graham Maguire, Eddie is there, Triplin's in there already, Alan Ellis is already registered. Let's see who else we've got. Shirley Cole is registered. Carl's that confident he's registered for both days. That's how confident he is.
No.
One Don Roberts,
sweet,
of football coach, motorway services fame, is already registered up. Dawn Cook is there. Naz is registered. Lee Wyatt is registered. Michelle's in there ready. Mark Morris is registered up. Carl Bursford is there. James Mills, Mark Salmon. So loads of players already registered in the holding tank. So it's going to be a cracking weekend in London.
It sounds absolutely superb. And I tell you what, Lee, we're only missing one name there, and you mentioned him a little earlier, Jura, of course. We're coming up on Jura's 1-year anniversary. It'll be a year in the just at the end of the first week in April. I think it's April the 9th. And, we will be releasing our video, I think, on April the 10th, which is the Sunday. So something for us to remember Jura from. Here's a little clip.
Well, this is a song of drinking, and for a drink it will be sung, and I'll sing it right, and I'll say goodnight, unless they're serving another one.
So remembering Jura, we'll be playing that out on April the 10th. And it's been a quick year, Lee, I have to say. I mean, the time has just flown by.
It's kind of, it is flown by. And I think to a certain extent, say with Gia, I mean, obviously it was great catching up with everybody in Nottingham the other month for the team event. But I think still, it's still still coming to terms. There's some people that say still weren't even aware.
I
Kind
know,
of nearly a year on, and only were finding out. I know that there were one or two that you may have told without realizing that they weren't aware up in Nottingham. But I guess it's been that sort of just a crazy couple of years, isn't it? And it's so it's still going to be it's very sad whenever we get to any APAT event and he's not there anymore. But he certainly was is there in spirit and there in kind of the whole APAT family feel about events, and that'll never go away. That is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, having spoken to some people post and during the APAT event in Nottingham, I think a lot of the feeling was one now of remembering fondly, as opposed to the initial shock. So there were a lot of people telling funny stories and just remembering where and how they met Ger. So it took on that sort of more celebrating his life than mourning, if you like. Now, that wasn't the case for everybody, of course, but I think that's a particularly Irish thing to do anyway. Wakes and stuff like that, they tend to be celebrations of and remembering as opposed to necessarily mourning. But a lot of emotions out there, of course, for Ger, and still quite raw.
No, it's that will be an ongoing thing. But it's great to have it's great to be able to have the stories, and everyone's got a tale to tell, and or a little anecdote of a time when they shared a table with him or stood at the bar with him or whatever it might be. That's what's great.
Did you see the story I put up on the Facebook group a few days ago?
The wedding.
The wedding. So just a fantastic story. Do look it up. It's within our Facebook group, guys. If you haven't seen it, Ger tells the story of his wedding day, where sort of late on he was pounced upon by, I guess, the men of the wedding day, and they stripped him naked, walked him across the street, and pushed him into a full pub owned by his cousin, his second cousin or something like that. So he finds himself completely naked in this pub, and he thinks to himself, well, what's a fella to do? I suppose you have to just confidently walk up to the bar and ask for a pint, at which point his cousin looks him up and down and says, well, Ger, I'll put this on the tab because I can see you don't have any notes, just small change. And it's a typical Ger, priceless story, as it were. And there's lots of them out there. Do go and search them out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are heads up, which is, as I've said before, this is always the way this goes on this particular tournament. Weirdly, we're heads up in this one, and we're still heads up in the PLO. That's gone pretty even stack wise now. So as soon as this one comes to a conclusion, which I've got a funny feeling is going to happen fairly quickly here, looking at the two players that we've got sat at this table, because Nicholas and Matthias, and just as I said it, there you go. How quickly did that happen? Wow. I said that would be the case. So let me quickly bring up the final table of the night, which is Sophia and James here in the PLO. So that should be live now. This one's been going on for a little while now, and we're yet to get a conclusion to it. Blinds are at 10,000, 20,000. So I mean, they're both pretty well stacked here, to be honest. It's still some play in this, but normally this one's done before the turbo finishes for the night. Well, so
let's see how they're playing it here. I mean, by the sound of it, they're playing heads up in a very very, very sensible fashion. Well, one person sensible might be somebody else is something else, but they're certainly not looking to get these chips in quickly, it would appear.
No, definitely not. In the meantime, I will just try and get the leaderboard ladders for the week sorted, because I don't think either of these are going to impact on the top positions. I don't think.
I had to laugh, Leigh, because as you're doing that piece of work, you put up some WCOAP old videos up into the Facebook group earlier this week, and one of which was the first ever WCOAP held at the London Victoria Casino, and there was one Tony Ross heads up for the main event. Incredible stuff, back from 2008, I think it was. And my question to you would be, has anybody beaten Tony tonight?
Well, he's made a comeback. That's for sure. Because he dropped down a couple of steps, didn't he? And he has picked back up. But he's not going to be in the top 20 this week.
No, really? Wow.
No, he's not going to be in the top 20. Going into this Sunday, Richard Rudling-Smith was top of the tree, but he has been pipped at the top by the player we just watched finish second in the Turbo Knockout, Matthias Dieters from Germany. Matthias has had 4 cashes this week. He's on step 2, and he's going to finish top of the tree.
Job.
Richard Rudling-Smith is going to finish in second. Di Farrell is going to finish in third, so she's in the top in the top 5. So we'll pick up double tickets. Brendan Byrne's is going to finish 4th, and Elaine Cosgrove is going to finish in 5th. So two female players in the top 5 this week.
Love to see it.
So well done to them. Also mentions for so Natalie Bromley is also in the top 20 this week. Gary Young makes it in there. Dan Williams has a couple of catches this week, so he's going to be in the top 20 as well. Brian Frew creeps in there as well. So so well done to all of you guys. We'll sort out. We've got 2 weeks worth of tickets to catch up on into accounts. So last week's ones plus this week's ones will go in beginning of next week. So we'll catch up with those for you.
Dan Williams, Dan Williams there, Leigh, has his 2 final tables counted this week. Is that going to be to the top 20?
To say, he's gonna, so he's in the top 20. So he'll pick up an extra ticket. So he's only on step 1 at the moment, but that's enough for him to pick up a $5.50 ticket. So for his trouble. So
and he goes up to step 2 next week, right?
And he does go up to step 2 next week. Yeah. So and as we know with these guys, if you can, you can get a little bit of a run going, you can be up, steps 4 and 5. So it goes $5.50, $11, $22, $33, $55. So the likes of
pretty
Richard
nice.
Rudling-Smith, who's finished second this week, he's a step 5er. So he's going to pick up 2 $55 tickets as added value this week. So,
and if he'd won it, he'd have picked up 3 $55 tickets. Is that right?
Yeah, he would have done. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice. Then you get to play for some big bucks, Leigh.
Yeah, of course you do. And we try and be flexible with it as well. So we'll break some of them down. So we give them a mixture of tickets. So although it's a $55 ticket, we tend to break that down to 33s and 11s and 550s. And we've had the odd occasional time where a player has done rather well, Tony Ross, and we've if that's worked out the way to give super flexibility, we've turned it into tournament dollars for them if I see that actually they're going to struggle to be able to get through them all in a particular week or whatever. Right. They last for 30 days though, so they are 30 days expiry. So normally it's a case of we ask you to use them or lose them because they are added value. So the only condition is you need to be registered with APAT. So if you just go onto apat.com, you'll see the join now. If you haven't, just pop your details in onto the database. So we know we've got you on our records. That's the only condition, but that's the same for any added value. So whether it's medals or bracelets or added value prizes with anything else we're doing, all we ask is that you're registered with us. So that complies with all the rules and regs that we have to deal with when giving away free stuff, because you can't just give it away free anymore, Des, these days.
No, absolutely not, Leigh. There's a cost to somebody.
We know there are some countries where we're not even allowed to give stuff away because the rules and regs mean that we can't. So I think Sweden is one of those countries where, unfortunately, as much as we would love to give the tickets away to Swedish players, we're actually legally not allowed to.
So Leigh, listen, Just for me to clarify, if I happen to win a $55 ticket, which seems outrageously long odds, I have to say, but were I to, I could ask you for 51s, 8 50-cent tickets, 4 25-cent tickets, and the remainder in small denomination penny type tickets.
Yeah, do you want it in 2s and 1s? You're gonna go off down to your local amusement down on the coast somewhere.
That's
and put
what
it
I'm
into
thinking. I'm gonna play it on the nags.
The 2p shuffler slot. Yeah, So was it tipping point? Yeah. Style. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna play 1 cent, 2 cent cash with my my new $55 bankroll. That's what I'm gonna do, Lee.
We're talking about tipping point. We watched it. Have you watched Trigger Point? The bomb disposal thing. It's an ITV thing. So it's done by the same guys that did. Yeah.
I watched the first 1.5, and then I couldn't get there.
But we got through it all anyway. And Jen said, "What did you think?" I said, "Well, to be honest," I said, "Tipping Point's more exciting than Trigger Point." It really was. Yeah, tried its best, but was never really going to succeed. So unfortunately,
the minute the second in command, detonator squad, bomb squad person, locked hands with the detective constable. That was sort of it for me. I'm thinking, no, I really don't want to go there.
Not happening. Triplin's in the chat saying, will Mr. Brady have a medal for yes, he has got spares booked in his bag, ready to go. So there's a couple of people that have won medals in the last month or so that we're going to collect in London. So we will make sure they are all done. And it also means you get a handshake from Tom and a photo opportunity. It's all done professionally and all that sort of thing. So we will make sure that happens.
Will he have a suitcase full of my $55 ticket?
Yeah, he will. Yeah. You could use as card guards. Yeah, that's about right.
That's what I want. I want my ones. I want my 50 cents tickets separated from my 10 cents tickets. I want it all, baby.
Yeah,
cash.
It's all good. And of course, what we all know is going to be the situation is that come London next weekend, at this rate, James and Sophia will still be playing this heads up PLO. Come this time next week.
I can dodge.
It's a nice structure. Say blinds are 12.5, 25, but say you look at the stacks on these guys, they've neither of them are less than 20 big still. So it's you've got the ability to play, and is always the way with PLO is it doesn't quite work out like No Limit Hold'em does. If you've never played the full card game before, it is just kind of the little nuances and slightly different in the way in the what the chips are worth, and you can actually drop down quite low big blind relation before it becomes a problem. You'll see a lot of the good Omaha players will tell you that it's not a case of I've got less than 15 bigs or 10 bigs panic stations. That isn't really how it works. So.
Oh, it's all very quietly. It's all very, very.
Yeah, well, they're playing down the streets here. And there's 181,000 in the middle here, and neither of them wants to have a stab at this. Let's see whether James has checked to Sophia whether Sophia's going to have a bet. It's having a long think about this. Trouble is, it's a Sunday night, so there's a possibility the players are multi-tabling. A number of hands. Sophia's using a time bank, and then eventually folds. Although to be fair, Sophia's is in Argentina, so I say Sunday night. It's going to be Sunday afternoon, early evening, I guess. What's Argentina? 5 hours, 6 hours?
It's at least 5. That's Eastern time, right?
It depends. I suppose it depends where exactly in. And
of course,
it's
quite far down, right? So it might take quite a while for the actual picture information on the screen to reach Argentina. I mean, that's a long way. Lee.
I often wonder. It's like you forget how poker is such a worldwide game, and we've got players playing from all sorts of countries that play APAT games now. It's amazing just to see all across Europe, but South America and Canada, and we've got a couple of guys that'll play from New Zealand every now and again. You see them crop up, and it is always just kind of like, wow, I wonder, what are their days going? Well, we're all focusing on a Sunday night because it's Sunday night poker, and actually it's either early Monday morning or it's Sunday afternoon, and it's like the Canadian guys, obviously, time difference wise, when we're playing, it's sort of Sunday early afternoon for them, I guess. So
Yeah. The most amazing thing I think I was ever told, Leigh, we were doing a WCOAP. Don't ask me which one. I want to say Manchester or something like that. But I've always wondered at the all the Italian lads and the Portuguese lads and ladies that come over to play the WCOAP, and they come for a week and play lots of events and stuff. But the story we had one year was we had somebody who travelled from New Zealand to play. And actually played at the WCOAP, came to play it from New Zealand. And I can't quite remember which one it was, but New Zealand was, that was like the furthest away I've ever heard.
Yeah, we had Canada,
we're the Malaysian lads, but I think they were at uni
guys.
here or something.
Yeah. But so we had, it was Michael, wasn't it? Christensen from Canada.
Canada,
came over and played at Dustle Dawn.
Yeah.
I remember Rob Young stood there and kind of going, "This guy's come from Canada to play this. Why is he doing that? I don't get it." Welcome to APAT, Rob. Welcome to APAT. Yeah.
So I pulled out my medal, which was on a chain around my neck, and I just caressed it gently and said, "Come to Papa."
Yes, that's what people do. Yeah. And I know times have changed, and there's so much more poker out there these days. But we're still trying to do what's best for players. And I know there's been discussions in the past few weeks on the Facebook group about different structures and schedules and this, that, and the other. And rest assured, we're in constant chat and trying to do the best. Well, what we've done for the last 15 years, which is trying to do what's best for the players. Which is all it's always the angle we come at first is where can we offer best value to the players, whether it be structures or experience of or added value, whatever it is. It's there. That's what we're looking to to do.
No, Leigh, that's what we used to do. What we've actually done this time is we've banned all of those people. We just banned them. We banned them off the Facebook group. Right. It's not that they're happy and calm right now. We've just banned them.
Yeah. I thought it had gone quiet. Okay, that explains that then. Fine.
We've taken on what we like to call the Eastern European style of management. We've just gone straight in there and dealt with that problem immediately. Honestly, it's the new way of working. It's amazing. It's very quiet. It's very quiet on the Facebook group. Very quiet.
I don't need to be continually being quite as diplomatic as I am then in that case. Okay, that's fine. That's
not any longer.
Know. Excellent. I can actually tell people what I really think. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Just not me. Don't tell me.
I've been bottling it up for 15 years. I've got a list. Where do we start? Yeah. It'll make a good book one day, won't it? I think we get a book out of APAT. I really do.
I think we'd get a book. I think we'd get a book out of the week leading up to the launch of APAT. Never mind a book out of APAT. Just the launch of APAT would be good for a book.
Yeah. That's call it Folly's game.
Yeah. Did you know? You won't know this, Leigh. Well, you might know this. We were that close to having a launch promotion with an APAT voucher within all of the chipsets at Debenhams pre-launch.
Really?
Yeah, we were that close. We were that close.
Wow.
That close.
And look, if that had happened, maybe Debenhams wouldn't have gone bust.
Well, I mean, funnier things have happened.
Yeah, butterfly effect and all that. Yeah, it's who knows? We'll never know. We will never know.
I do remember having a discussion with them, which went on for a little while. They had legal involved and everything, and they were all for it. That was at a time, of course, when poker chip sets and stuff. It was a great present. It was very, very popular. We were that close. Wow.
I think it still is. I think home games and stuff still is. People have got far more organised. I mean, it's I guess it's one of the great things about where poker's gone to now is the number of groups that are out there that are organised, and you've got good people that are organising these things, and they often get do you remember? You might remember this. It's about, I don't know, 6 months ago, something like that. Rob Youngpoller, a tweet that he's going to sort out an association or something, and he was going to invest in it, and he listed all of the. So here's all the stakeholders in poker, rattling them all through, and let me know if you're missing anybody. And I went back to him and said, well, you're missing the guys that organise the home games week in, week out. Those people, they're the ones, they're the kind of lifeblood of the group. Who've got these local groups, and we know so many of them, whether it's BCPC or it's the Essex home game guys, or it's the Hertfordshire guys, or whatever Malvern group, the Newcastle, the Geordie group, wherever it's Blue Blood. I mean, there's so many of them. And I said to you, they're the ones that keep the recreational poker going week in, week out. And if you get all of those involved, then you won't have a problem.
Yeah.
Went quiet after that. I don't really know what happened with it.
Leigh, listen, we'd have to unban a lot of them. Okay, a lot of them are gone. We've banned them.
Oh, you've got rid of them now.
Them.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, in the last week or two, we just banned a lot of them.
You haven't banned Tony Trippier though, because we wanted to get him back on the show.
Tony's gone, I'm afraid. But we've kept the song though, because it was one of my favorite tracks.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
Of the last 2 years.
All right then.
Tony. It was a great song.
Then.
It's fantastic.
That's fine. We can keep that. But it's true. There's so many people out there, and that's what's changed. It's the organisers, and it's the same. To be fair, it's the same in anything. You can look at sport and anything. Everyone goes. It's like grassroots football, isn't it? Well, grassroots football works because there are people that are prepared to actually run a club. I don't know if anyone's ever run a football club. I mean, I used to do it on a Saturday and a Sunday. Bloody hard work. You get no thanks for it, but actually, without it, it doesn't happen. It's what makes it.
Too right. Listen, we're getting a compliment there, Leigh. I think, although Dan mentions my name, I'm sure he's talking about both of us when he says, I like this new style. Absolument.
Dan, I haven't looked to see whether you're still, I daren't open another window on my computer on a Sunday night. I've always got far too much open. I think I've worked out what the problem is. It's kind of overheats is the issue. So I need to get my laptop in for a service at some point, but I can't do without it for 2 weeks whilst they do that. So I'm in a kind of limbo with it at the moment on what to do. But
just want to load.
Luckily, it's only ever. Yeah, it's only ever a Sunday night that it's a problem, because we just got so much. If anyone ever knew, well, they saw your setup and my setup, what we do on a Sunday night. It's just throw the APAT show up, but actually there's more screens going on than you know what to do with. Whilst you're keeping up to date with all the info. Well, James has now got a 2-1 chip lead here. So it's the first time I've really seen James get this sort of chip lead. Let's see whether James has got the ability to see this one through now. His blinds are up to 17.5 and 35,000 now. So Dan Turbo. So he's turned his stream off. It's but if you do want to follow Dan, it's Decaf TV on Twitch. Well worth a follow whenever he does stream. Just say if you're on Twitch, just go and stick the I'm
telling you now, Leigh,
notifications on, and it will ping up an email when he goes live, so you'll know. This is all in. This is going to be all in, which means there's going to be a lot of cards on the screen.
Do it.
We're going to try and work it out. It's effectively Queen's versus, and it's going to be, unless it's a king there, it's going to be a double up for Sophia.
Wow.
And it is, because the Queen's play. So, I mean, James it wasn't the worst hand for James. He was double suited there with lots of connecting cards, but he only had one over card to Sophia's pocket Queens, and so. And that was all that was good enough in the end. How many times do we say that with these PLO games? You watch a hand and you think, oh, there's going to be all this, whatever. And it ends up actually being a pair in your hand is actually what actually does it for you.
Strange game. I can dodge bullets, baby. Speaking of which.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
I was going to say, how have we got this far without not talking about this? Yeah.
Queen 4, right?
Queen 4, yeah.
What the hell was he thinking, Leigh?
Very sensible.
Tell our viewers what happened there.
I only caught a little bit of the video. So basically, it was Fox and was he all in? I think he was all in, wasn't he? And,
well, I think there'd been a 3-bet, and then Fox and I think might have 4-bet.
Yeah, and then eventually Helmuth decided with his Queen 4 in the high. So it was the high stakes game, and decided to call it off a queen 4 and got what was he up against? Jacks or tens or something like that? I think
detail. It's detail. It
Guys
could have
in
been
the
up
chat,
against almost
someone in the
anything and been in
someone in
bad
the chat
shape.
will give it. I think it was, yeah, but basically, yeah, and there it's opened up in on poker Twitter a ridiculous discussion around whether it was a good thing or a bad thing or whatever, which is always entertaining because that's normally more entertaining than anything else. I think yeah, but you want Helmuth at these tables because it's just interesting, isn't it? Yeah. As Tristan says, though, as Tristan said, if someone called him with queen 4, he would go fucking loopy.
Yeah, he would indeed.
He probably would. Yeah.
So here's the play as Dan calls it. So Foxen opened button, Helmuth 3-bet, the big blind with queen 4, Foxen 4-bet with 9s.
I was 9s.
And Helmuth calls it off. Yeah, I mean it was.
But he didn't just. It wasn't a snap. I mean, he properly thought about it.
Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. But
yeah.
in the Twitterverse, there's only 2 lines of thought, right? One, Helmut's an absolute dick. He can't play the game, and everybody else will then respond with, "Yeah, but look at all the bracelets. Do you know? Look at all the bracelets." It's an odd one. It's an odd one.
And they're playing. It's not like they're just playing a small game there. That's it's kind of that's considered, I guess, at the moment pretty much the top end of the poker, because those that are playing those games on a regular basis. But Foxen doesn't actually. I mean, he's at the table, doesn't flinch.
No.
Gets no reaction whatsoever, which is incredible. Because I say, if it was flipped the other way, or to be honest, if it was most other players, I mean, would you have been able to sat there and seen?
Yeah. Well, Triplin has said that if somebody called Helmuth with queen 4, he would have gone loopy, and he would have gone loopy.
Yeah, he'd have been out. I'm burning the studio down, kind of jobby, wouldn't it? It would have been.
I think he's already done that.
Yeah. But it's true. I mean, I'm not sure whether I would have been able to sit there. If the queen 4 makes the call and hits. I mean, the reality is more times than not, he's not going to hit. He doesn't hit.
Yeah, you're going to win. You want that call.
And yeah. Of course, you want the call. Of course, you do. But when it goes the wrong way for you, it's. But
at a point with that sort of action, you've got to be sort of thinking, "Oh, my 9s aren't looking great here. Best case, I'm in a race. I might not be healthy in a lot of other scenarios." And you just got to accept that the queen 4 is generally. I mean, that's a profitable play for you. In a lot of times, just wasn't on that one occasion.
Yeah, but it's what's great is to say you look at the poker Twitter and it just goes nuts with kind of everybody trying to work out the maths on it, and it's like, really, I love it when the maths comes into it. But the fact is because you're basing the maths on your best guess of the range of what you're putting the player on, and even the best players in the world, it's a guess.
Yeah, no, I know.
But you're having a stab at it. There's not an actual calculation here where you can get this spot on. It's just a guess. Yeah.
But listen, Lee, that isn't even the biggest topic of poker discussion on the Twitter right now. The biggest one is what the hell is a poker bunny? Right? What is the poker bunny? Have you come across this person? Yeah. Who is she? Where has she come from?
I'm aware of this person. She's been about for a little while, and for whatever reason, I don't think she's doing a huge amount wrong. It's entertaining for the game, and it's to talk about. But it's.
Is she serious or is she a persona? Do we know?
I think it's a persona.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it's a persona.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough then. I admire the. I admire the cojones to come up with that particular persona.
Well, but the problem, I guess the problem, but the thing is, if you want to get into poker, and make money out of poker, not just by playing poker, then you need to, to find a way of kind of getting your foot in the door and get and get yourself interested. Yeah, and streaming these days is not necessarily the way to do it, because everybody's out there doing it. A lot of the big companies now have got streaming teams that do whatever, although some of them don't get a huge amount of followers but what they're doing, but they're doing that. So
But Leigh, I mean, how low would you go? Would you ask Dara O'Kearney to sing, for example, for a few hits?
Well, I mean, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Who would do that? Something.
Who would do that?
But if you look at like some of the Marley content, when she was playing,
but she's funny though. Hello.
But yeah, she's that's all over. And James, as we're chatting away, and James Foxley has finally one of them actually did the business, and so James Foxley ends up $375 better off, and Sophia Fernandez will have to settle for $230 in the end for second place. I mentioned Jonathan Rees that finished in third. That doesn't actually affect the overall leaderboard. So as I'd mentioned, Matthias Dettes from Germany, 4 cashes this week. Absolutely superb performance. He's on step 2, so he's going to pick up 3 lots of $11 tickets. Richard Rudling Smith, second this week. He's going to pick up 2 lots of $55 tickets. Di Farrell is third. She's going to pick up 2 lots of $5.50 tickets. Brendan Byrne finishes in 4th. He's on step 3 at the moment, Brendan is, so he's going to pick up 2 lots of $22 tickets. And Elaine Cosgrove, 2 cashes this week. Elaine makes it into the top 5, so she will pick up 2 lots of $5.50 tickets as well. Sort out 2 weeks worth of tickets to sort out. Last week's plus these ones we've just done now, so they'll all be sorted out this week. But obviously, leaderboard ladders will continue. This was week 53. It'll be week 54 next week. We are going to slightly tweak the schedule in the coming weeks. I'll probably leave it now till after London, to be honest, because hey, next week, Des, we're going to be in London.
Whoop, whoop. Well, that's a good point for us to sign off. So if any of you guys are going to make it to London, we look forward to seeing you there. I'm looking forward to it, Leigh. I have to say, I think it's going to be a great weekend. Outside of that, thank you to everyone who played this week. Good luck to everyone who's going to play next week. It's going to be a little bit different for Leigh and I from an APAT show perspective next weekend. We're not going to be on at the normal time, but we do hope to be pushing out content from Aspers next Saturday and Sunday. So, look out for links on Facebook, etc. And we shall go from there. So have a good week, guys, and we'll be in touch next Saturday and Sunday. Ciao, ciao.